Hey everyone, welcome to Everything PR. I'm your host, Raphael Portis, and today we're talking about one of the funniest slash scariest PR moments of 2024. The day the CEO of Kellogg's told America to eat cereal for dinner and the internet lost its mind. If you're going online in 2024, here's the short version. So food prices were crazy high, people were stressed, and the Kellogg's boss went on TV and said, "Hey, why not just have cereal for dinner? It's cheap." He thought he was being helpful. The public heard, "Let them eat cake." Boom, instant firestorm. But today, we're going to break this story into three easy parts. What happened before the crisis, the pre-crisis phase, what happened during the storm, the mid-crisis phase, and what happened after and what they learned, the post-crisis phase. And at the end, I'll give you the three simple rules so this never happens to you or your company. So you ready? Let's get started. Imagine this. You're the CEO of a huge cereal company. Your job is to sell more cereal, right? One day a reporter asks you about high grocery prices. You want to sound clever. So you say, well, cereal is pretty cheap. A lot of families are now having it for dinner to save money. That's exactly what Gary Pennick said, the Kellogg CEO. He said it on CNBC in February of 2024. He wasn't lying though. Some people really do eat cereal at night, but it was the way it sounded. A super rich CEO telling struggling families to eat kids cereal for dinner? Ooh. But here's the big lesson from the pre-crisis moment. Never let your boss talk about money struggles without the PR team checking the words first. What should have happened, the PR team could have said, "Hey Gary, instead of saying eat cereal for dinner, let's say we know groceries are expensive right now and we're doing everything we can to keep prices fair. We're also donating millions of meals to food banks." Same interview, totally different feeling. The company looks caring instead of clueless. The mistake was treating an internal marketing idea as cereal is versatile for compassionate financial advice. But here's what the PR team should have done. They should have flagged the phrase "eat cereal for dinner" as a high risk and provided an alternative. The CEO should have been trained to instantly pivot away from financial advice. The message should have been focused on action and not advice. When we look back at Kellogg's crisis, the biggest tragedy is that it was entirely preventable. The pre-crisis phase is where the ounce of prevention should have been applied. The CEO role is to sell the product. Yes, it is. But the communications team's role is to shield the executive from self-inflicted wounds. It was a risk to allow a multimillionaire CEO to discuss affordability during a widespread economic squeeze. This message should have been focused on, I feel like, action and not advice. Simple rule number one: protect your leader from saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Kellogg then goes into their mid-crisis when the internet explodes. Within hours, the clip was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Hashtags like "let them eat cereal" and hashtag "cereal for dinner" started trending. People made memes of Mary Antoinette holding a box of Frosted Flakes. So when a crisis like this occurs, the clock starts ticking immediately. In the modern media environment, you have 4 hours to respond to a major crisis. Kellogg had then went into their mid-crisis phase. When in this situation, your communication goal shouldn't be to change the narrative, but to slow the spread and demonstrate honesty. So what did Kellogg do right in those first hours? They answered fast, they listened to what people were angry about, and they didn't argue, they tried to explain. The narrative was set as the wealthy mocking the poor. So Kellogg, they listened to the criticism on social media platforms and addressed questions directly within their comments, within people posting videos in their opinion. While doing that, Kellogg had let the consumers guide the tone of the crisis. According to PR Daily, Kellogg's response had some pretty good communication crisis practices. They had responded quickly, framed the message around inflation, which was the consumer's pressure, and leaned into more brand values of being convenient and fun. Gary went on TV again and said, "Look, I wasn't telling people they're poor. Some families already told us they love cereal at night because it's quick and fun. We just wanted to remind people it's an option." Gary had later stated that cereal for dinner was about shaking up family dinner routines, presenting cereal to be fun, flexible, and not a financial crunch. After, Kellogg had emphasized that the idea of that saying, cereal for dinner, came from people stating that they eat cereal at other different times than breakfast. They also pointed out that the idea came from real customers, not from the CEO brain on live TV. Was it perfect? No. A lot of people still stayed mad, but because they answered quickly and stayed calm, the fire didn't burn the whole house down. So simple rule number 2, in a crisis, speed, honesty, beat perfection. Kellogg now goes into their post-crisis of fixing their damage that was done. After the noise died down, Kellogg's did 3 smart things. 1, they started talking more about nutrition and healthy choices, not just being cheap. 2, they reminded everyone that they give away millions of meals every year to people who need food. And number 3, they promised to be more careful with how they talk about money and family budgets. They went back onto the brand fundamentals. They evaluated whether their messaging still matched modern consumer expectations. To consumers, today they care about transparency, healthy options, budget-friendly choices, convenience without sounding tone deaf. Kellogg shifted to messaging that re-emphasized nutrition, practicality, and flexibility, not desperation or financial hardship. Kellogg didn't treat the situation like a huge scandal, but they also didn't ignore it. They avoided over-apologizing, because when you over-apologize, it can make the small issue feel even bigger. They also avoided being dismissive. If they would have never responded, it would have created more backlash. They simply had just clarified, adjusted, and moved forward. Kellogg had to rebuild consumers' trust, and they earned it slowly. They had leaned back into what consumers already liked about cereal, as it being nostalgic, affordable, easy, kid-friendly, and versatile. Kellogg insisted on recalibrating their messages to be more aligned with modern food values by being nutrition transparent about what's in the cereal. Also, being family and friendly, opinionated, and quick meals for busy lifestyles. They had leaned back into what consumers already liked about cereal, as it being nostalgic, affordable, easy, kid-friendly, and versatile. The anger, it slowly went away. People still buy cornflakes. The company survived. But most importantly, the takeaway was even a tiny comment can turn into a huge story if it feels out of touch. So, that brings us to simple rule number 3. Always ask yourself, how would this sound to someone who's having a tough month? I feel like their takeaway was that even simple and harmless messaging can miss the mark if they don't reflect evolving consumer culture in today's environment. They learned that they have to be culturally aware to maintain brand loyalty. So here are 3 rules you can write on a sticky note today or put in the notes of your phone. 1. In your pre-crisis, never let the boss talk about money struggles without PR help. Number 2. In mid-crisis, answer fast, listen hard, and stay honest. And number 3, in the post-crisis, show you learned something and that you care. And that's it. The Kellogg's cereal for dinner story is actually a happy ending because they didn't ignore it, they didn't fight the public, they just got better. Thanks for listening to Everything PR. If you like this episode, share it with a friend, leave a comment, or follow. It really helps. Next week, we'll talk about spin versus transparency in PR with our guest, Rick Jackson. See you then.